Today we will discuss about open fractures. Examiner may sometimes show you a picture like this, a photograph of a bleeding leg, and ask you, what will you do? If you can answer the question based on this document, that is Bose Guideline 4, you can easily diffuse the situation. Just like any other viva in trauma, you can start by saying my initial approach will be along the ATLS protocol, and assuming that the injury is isolated, I will follow the Bose 4 guideline. I will follow a multidisciplinary team approach involving orthoplastic care. Why I am doing this? Because the consequences of infection can be great both for the community and for the individual patient. So we have got 4 or 5 buzzwords. One is the Bose guideline. So you have to quickly bring in this word, Bose guideline, multidisciplinary team approach, orthoplastic care, and problem of infection. And initially you have to make a statement that I will follow the ATLS protocol. You can structure your further answers into different subheadings like initial management, ward management, and theatre management. We will further discuss about the initial management the further coming slides. The timing of debridement is a very important consideration, and immediate debridement is warranted if there is a high contamination associated vascular injury or if there is compartment syndrome. A solitary high velocity open fracture requires debridement within 12 hours. All other low energy open fractures require debridement within 24 hours. One of the crucial steps in the initial management is antibiotic, which is given within 1 hour. You have to examine for neurovascular injury and look for compartment syndrome. Realign and splint and repeat the examination of neurovascular system and the compartment syndrome again. Minimum handling of the wound is recommended in the initial period, that is, remove gross contamination and give a saline soak dressing covered with occlusive film. Before that, we have to take photographs. So which antibiotic am I going to use? The most important point is to give antibiotic within first 1 hour of injury. For Gustilo-Anderson 1 and 2, first generation cephalosporin is recommended. For Gustilo type 3, first generation cephalosporin plus aminoglycoside is recommended. If it is a farm injury, heavily contaminated, or possible bowel contamination is suspected, add high dose penicillin for anaerobic coverage. For freshwater wounds and saltwater wounds, fluoroquinolones are the drug of choice, or you can give 3rd or 4th generation cephalosporin. A word about tetanus prophylaxis. If the immunization history is unknown, or if the patient has taken less than 3 doses, if it is a clean minor Gustilo-Anderson 1, give vaccine only. If it is 2 or 3, give vaccine and immunoglobulin. If vaccination was incomplete, that we have to give vaccine or immunoglobulin based on the Gustilo-Anderson grading. If the vaccination was complete, that is 3 prior doses were taken, for Gustilo-Anderson 1, no prophylaxis if last dose was taken within 10 years. If given more than 10 years back, we have to give vaccine. For 2 and 3, this period is 5 years. No prophylaxis if last dose was within 5 years. Give vaccine if more than 5 years since last dose. No need of immunoglobulin in case of previous vaccination. We have to give immunoglobulin for 2 and 3 if immunization was not proper. The principles of theatre management are these: combined orthoplastic approach, debridement with wound extended along the fasciotomy lines. Any further procedure is considered a clean surgery after debridement. Internal fixation only if definitive wound cover possible immediately, and if one is contemplating a limb salvage or amputation, a multidisciplinary team has to be assessing the patient. In general, bone is stabilized using external fixators. Debridement is the removal of dead and devitalized tissue. Same is to remove all contamination. Low pressure pulse lavage may be used, but never a high pressure lavage. Dead muscle is identified by its color, consistency, contractility and capacity to bleed, and remove all loose bone based on the pull test. That means if you grab a piece of bone using your forceps and lightly pull it or tug it, if it is coming out easily, remove it. But you should never remove an articular fragment even if it is loose. Finally, about post-operative management, patient should be given sufficient information regarding expected function after the treatment, rehabilitation protocol, and when you can expect to return to work and driving. We have skipped compartment syndrome and arterial injury in this class. We will discuss that in detail in some other lecture.